What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Mask of Mr. Fuentes. I am Mr. Fuentes, and over here we have Cryptic. And today we are going to be going over I Am the Hero, which features my friend Cryptic over here.
Hell yeah.
So, we talk about me a lot on this podcast. This podcast is basically about dissecting and breaking down songs of mine that I've done in the past. Since I'm about to drop sneak peek, or at least at this point when this podcast drops, it should already be released. People have heard the song, so I want to start getting into that while it's all fresh on people's minds. But before we get into all that, I wanted to kind of introduce you to anyone who doesn't know who you are, to the audience. So this is Cryptic, and would you like to give a short introduction of yourself, like your background, where you came from, how long you've been doing music?
Yeah, for sure. So a little bit about me. I started doing music about 15 plus years ago, give or take. Really started taking it seriously probably around that time. Grew up in Fort Worth, had a lot of local influences. Kind of what drove me into, I guess, getting into music was really seeing some local performers, seeing that, hey, this is something that's feasible. And, I grew up around music my whole life. I was in pretty much band, all throughout high school and middle school. And that's kind of where I got my niche into music. So just kind of carried that on after school and kind of adapted it to this type of format and fell in love with hip hop music fairly early on. And it's just been a blast ever since.
Badass, man. This is a question I hate, and people always ask me it, and I never have a good answer for it. How would you describe your style of music?
Oh man. I would describe it as kind of like a rap hip hop rock mix. It's definitely got some rock feel to it for sure. Especially one of my favorite tracks, I think that I've got going on. But most of the time, especially here recently, I've been trying to kind of move towards that rock feel and kind of incorporating it. I mean, I like all genres of music. I like hip hop, rock. I like oldies. I like blues, jazz, you name it, classical. Just really am a fan of music in general. I've actually got a new track that I'm coming up with on this next album. It's going to have a really awesome blues feel with it, which I think I gave you a sneak peek of Fuentes at one point. So while we're in corporates.
Yeah, you did. And it did sound really nice. I remember like listening to it thinking, oh man, this is nothing like you've done before. And it's really awesome. As musicians, a lot of musicians get slack when they change up their style because everyone's just so used to, hearing something that you've done. They're like, oh, wow. Well, now he's, I'm not saying it's exactly what you're doing, but now he's singing and now he's doing more R&B types of stuff. And, people evolve, people grow up, and music's going to grow up with the people. Sometimes that old teenage angst music that you made when you were in your early 20s is not going to be the same thing you make in your early 30s because you've grown past that phase.
For sure.
But, I guess like I usually tell people, well, if you like the old shit, listen to the old shit, man. Like,
hey, this
is the new shit, man. Like, this is the phase of life I'm in right now, and hopefully you're growing with me. And if not, then I'm sure other people will. But no, the new track you showed, I think it's gonna be awesome. I think people are gonna dig it.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it. Trying to kind of get out of my comfort zone, get in, kind of think outside the box when I'm putting together these tracks. Give something new to try to gather some, I guess, different type of fan base and things like that. So kind of to stir things up a little bit, as you would say.
Definitely. So you've been doing music for about 15 years. In that 15 years, do you have a favorite song or favorite verse that you've done for anyone or yourself?
Well, that's a really good question. I mean, I've got I've got a lot of songs that I'm very interested in playing live. Like it's I just enjoy playing a lot of my tracks. There's one that sticks out though that I think makes it on pretty much every set, and that is "Shut It Down."
Mhm.
Mainly because it's just so fun to perform. My voice just goes to shit afterwards because of how much screaming is in it, but gets the crowd moving, gets the, I've had a number of mosh pits during that track, and it's just, as an artist, we feed off the energy of the crowd, right? So
Yeah.
that's just something that brings that energy from the crowd, and I've been playing it a lot, and I originally released it whenever I guess Funk Volume had did their "Don't Funk Up Our Beats" contest.
Hmm.
That was a beat that was on there. It was the only beat out of all of the sets of beats that was like really just very unique and out there and in your face. And that's kind of like what I like to do with my music, is just be in your face and just very just out there. So try to do a bunch of different stuff and just kind of be unique. So I would say that's probably my favorite so far.
Shut It Down. No, it's a good one. Definitely gets me pumped up. Just up there like, shut it down. Like,
And
hell
that's why
yeah.
my voice goes out every time.
um, yeah, I actually wanted to share an experience of mine that I had with you. Um, it was definitely like the time, or the only time. I say this, and I've already said it live a few times, so I'm still scared to say this out loud half the time. But I'm very picky when it comes to like artists, and in this underground thing, it's one of those like everyone's an artist, and you try your best to support, but it's just sometimes they're still learning what they need to be doing when they're up
Sure.
there. So it's really so when I started jumping into this scene, um I was kind of expecting a lot of people to be like more polished and more on their game, and I was going to a lot of these shows that Nairo was putting together, and he had like a freaking bucket full of people on these shows, like 20 artists in one night type of thing going on.
Yeah, it's a
And
lot. It's a lot.
yeah, and then so I try to support, but like a lot of these people just blew over my head. And I remember when you went on the first time I ever met you. I think it was some kind of Christmas concert. I don't really remember exactly. It might have been the Christmas benefit concert. Because I'm pretty sure you showed up in like a full like Christmas outfit, like for like a blazer and everything. You're all
Yep.
Christmas suited out. And I was just like, oh shit, look, another guy that wears a blazer on stage or something like that. I was like, oh, that's kind of unique. So I remember going and watching you, and then you were doing your set. I was like, oh damn, this guy's like really good. Hell yeah. And then you did the Fat Kid on My Street song, and you had someone dressed up in a giant fat kid uh
That's
monster
Fatty Krueger.
costume.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Fatty Krueger, man. He comes at night and steals your groceries.
And he was just on stage with you, and y'all were just like, you were just doing your thing. And I was just like, dude. And I don't want to say at the time, but there was a time in my life where like got really into Will Smith, and I was just like listening to all his all his old CDs and stuff. And that was like one of my favorite tracks from Will Smith was the beat that you used for the Fat Kid on My Street. And I fell in love with the whole thing. Everything you did, I was just like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. Okay, wow. Like everything you did was so cool. And then you did the like, Fatty Krueger, he did everything. And I was just like, okay, this guy's about it. Like he knows how to entertain. He knows what he's doing. And I was just like, dude, this guy's badass. And then I think like a few months after that, you got signed to Funny Farm at some point.
Yes, yeah, I think it was
Uh,
shortly after that. I remember that blazer vividly. I actually still have it hanging in my closet somewhere. It says "Merry Christmas, you filthy animal" all over it. It's like an ugly sweater print. Yeah, comes with a
it,
tie and everything. It's pretty fresh. It's pretty fresh. And
uh,
kind of going back to what the earlier question with the favorite tracks. Fatty on My Street is from a performance standpoint and the theatrics that I can put behind it. Really kind of that's also one of my favorites because I used to love that song. Well, I still do, but from Will Smith, and that's "Nightmare on My Street," and it was pretty much intended to be a cover. Whenever I was with Fat Kids Incorporated, so we were kind of sticking with that Fat Kid theme, and the comic relief of the show and things like that. So yeah, both really awesome, and I definitely appreciate it. And glad you enjoyed it, man. It's been a good ride. We've known each other for a while, and you put on a hell of a show as well, and just all in the theatrics, and yeah, man, get the crowd pumped up and all that good stuff. So yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Definitely enjoy your sets. We bumped into each other. You came down to Corpus, and same thing. It was just like, I haven't seen you in so long, and to watch you perform again, I was like, damn, this guy's still fucking on it, man. Like
that was an open mic, right?
Yeah, I was like, this guy's still on something, man. Like I love like meeting good performers like you and good like artists like you, because it keeps me on my toes, because I don't want to say I'm a vain person, but I love competition. Like, I start getting comfortable thinking I'm really good at what I do sometimes, and like, oh, this is pretty good. And then I go listen to someone else's shit. I'm like, all right, need to tighten up the shirt again and start writing some better shit. So no, I definitely like seeing really good artists like you out there, and I hope to actually do more with you soon. But getting into that, let's start jumping into the song, because
let's do it.
Also, to me, this track, you definitely shined a lot in this track, and I think, because of what we talked about before, went out of your comfort zone when you did this track as well. And you did a great job, but we're going to get into it. But before we get into that, I also wanted to give a shout out to Emo Sawa Productions. They're the ones that have been hosting this podcast. They do music about me. They do wrestling on there as well. Music, horror, movie reviews, comic books, movies, you name it, any kind of form of entertainment. There's a podcast that we do on Emo Sawa Productions. So subscribe to us on YouTube at Emo Sawa Productions. That's EMOSEWA Productions on YouTube and Instagram. And then, if you want to get the notifications, at this moment, we've been pushing the wrestling brand of it, Wrestling Tacos, more, but we're starting to try to get into the other podcasts and pushing them just as much. So check them out. And also, well, I guess while we're here at this point, maybe we could do it in beginning and end. But where can they find your music? Where can they listen to you?
Pretty much anywhere on Spotify, any streaming platform. I've got some digital distribution out there. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram. Although my Instagram is kind of I don't know. I'm fucking terrible at social media, so it's one of my downsides. Working on it, trying to get better. I really kind of need like somebody else to knock that social media stuff out, but it's all good. But yeah, that dude Cryptic. On Instagram, I believe that's also on the other ones as well. But any streaming platform, you can search for Cryptic. The album that I have on there currently is Back to Square One. It's got a graffiti kind of artwork on the cover there. There is, I think there's another couple Cryptics out there somewhere. Somebody that started way after I did, but it's all good. So just make sure you listen to the right one, because the other one is, well, pretty solid, but a little darker than what my music is generally about. So
I'm trying to, oh, here we go. I'm trying to get to your artist page so I can share this right here. So this is the Cryptic page right here. And then the album he's talking about, Back to Square One, right here. So if you see this face, if you're on the YouTube watching this, this is where you can find him on Spotify. This is the logo he has up there. Check him out. Dude's dope. Definitely check out his song that he suggested, Shut It Down. On here, The Fonz is probably one of my favorite tracks off this album as well.
Hey.
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 I know, honestly, this whole album is badass. Check Appreciate it out. That. I'm sure that he's going to be dropping some more stuff soon, and I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, going to be throwing some singles out there. I've got probably my first single that I'm going to drop is going to be called either Hittin' or Bluetooth Banger. I'm not sure, kind of torn between the two titles, but I think I performed that and during that open mic that we performed at in Corpus. So also very, very fun track.
Yeah, the one about the quarantine.
No, that was quarantine zone. This new like feel that I have going on kind of has some like dark political shit in it, and it also has some like just some fun bangers just to get the party started at the club. So
I got you. I got you. Alrighty, well, without further ado, let's get into this track.
Let's do it.
So here are the lyrics, and let's go.
We start our story with the hero arriving at the castle of Cryptic, the warlock supreme, who has kidnapped the queen of a nearby kingdom. Is he the right hero for the job?
Hell yeah, I am.
Are you sure about that?
I am the hero, yes, I am the one. I am the hero, the one with the gun. I am the hero has come, the hero has come, the hero has come. All of my enemies, everyone facing me, everyone chasing me, thought of replacing me. The hero has come, the hero has come, the hero has come, and now you're all done. I am the hero, yes, I am the one. I am the hero, the one with the gun. I am the hero has come, the hero has come, the hero has come. All of my enemies, everyone facing me, everyone chasing me, thought of replacing me. The hero has come, the hero has come, the hero has come, and now you're all done.
So
now you're all done.
That's it. That was the whole song.
Yeah, that's it. All right, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
No, I just wanted to talk about the hook for a second. So, honestly, when I heard this beat for the first time, I was just like, okay, this has like obviously a video game kind of theme. Sure. So I was just like, okay, well, I'm probably gonna do something like video game like. I remember back in the day, I don't know who it was or what artist it was, but my homie was showing me one of his homies one time. And it was these people were rappers who like based all their songs on like video game stuff. And the whole track he had talked about, he like started, it was the most like gangster shit you ever heard. Like jumped in, he's like, I jumped through the roof and I pop on the head, run over there, pop. And he's like, blah, blah, blah. He talks about like, killing like this whole field of people, and then he's just like and then somebody got me, oh shit, gotta wait for a respawn. And the whole track was about like him playing like Call of Duty, the whole nice. Verse. And I was like, oh shit, that was like the craziest shit in the world. Like but it was like such a tight verse, and I was just like, I'm gonna do something like that for this. So I started thinking about it, and then I don't know honestly where it came from, the I am the hero. But I do know whenever it was done, I was just like, yes, this is the hook. This is the one. It's in your face. It's high energy. I loved it. And yeah, I hope y'all love it too.
So yeah, I mean, the hook is fantastic. It has that nice, awesome nerdcore feeling to it. So I'm a big fan of nerdcore stuff.
Yeah, I think, some kind of crazy stuff ended up happening with this song. Cause I remember I had, whenever Nairo was still around, I had told him like, hey, this is kind of my idea. And he's like, oh, dude, I told him I want to use that beat. And he was like, dude, you should definitely use that beat. And I have connections to MC Chris. Let's get him on the track. And I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. Let's try to get him on the track. That'd be cool. Like I've listened to MC Chris, but I'm not like a huge MC Chris fan. But obviously, Nairo was thinking more in that like, let's get a big name drawer, type of thing. So sure. I was like, okay, that sounds like fun. And then when I was getting this song done, I tried to reach out to Nairo to reach out to him, and he was not responding. And I have no idea if MC Chris randomly runs into this thing, if, he was just pulling my leg saying that he like paid you and he was waiting for a verse. Because obviously at this point we know that Nairo had very shady business deals.
Let's not open that can of worms today.
But that was the original. I had wrote this with the idea that he was going to be the person in here. And then whenever that fell through, I was like, you know what? Forget MC Chris. If we can't get a hold of him, then I'm going to pick someone else, myself, who I want on here. And like I said, I saw you already seen you do a whole story rap before. And I was like, okay, I know this guy can do this track. And that's when I hit you up. But that was just a random.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
That was a random fact about the song whenever it was being made. So now into my
Behold the wonder, the interdimensional killer, a mystical bounty hunter who captures the criminals. I am the pinnacle. And what's your name? The Duke of the Glamorous, cunning and fabulous. Yeah.
Your real name?
The Bureau's most savviest, codename Lazarus. I've embarked on a journey that's been dubbed hazardous. Retrieve the mist of the king who rules the land of Nazareth, and I'm at risk. Yep. Cause I'm about to fight Warlock Supreme. An evil and dastardly fiend in his regime. No help for no team.
Oh no!
No sitch, I heard he's a bitch. I snuck by those guards without even a hitch. Disabled his shots and finding a switch. And easily found out which way is which. Be a statue, don't let him catch you. And if you do, go nuts like a cashew. You know these guys cannot match you. But you need to be ready for the last dude. Tiptoe through the last corridor. Yep, I see the door. But what am I stopping for? It's guarded by miniature luchadors. Jumped into action to break up the faction. Threw a small rock just to make a distraction. I knocked out one, then I knocked out two. I finally made it through and yelled, hey! I am the hero, yes I am the one. I am the hero, the one with the gun. I am the hero.
So
Love that verse, man. It's so good.
it's like, yeah, it's one of my favorite verses. It's really hard. Like when I asked you earlier, you know, what's your favorite verse, favorite song? It's so hard to pick one because, you know,
Man.
you just, we as artists just love what we do. So it's just
Sure,
so hard.
yeah.
It's so hard
We
to
don't
be
put
like,
out, we don't put out stuff that we don't like, right?
exactly. It's just like, oh no, I didn't like that at all. I love the idea of this thing because I have talked to Franco about this, the other host who couldn't make it today, but I talked to him about how, like, for me, I have, like, I don't know what the word is, but disassociation. I don't want to call it disorder, but I disassociate myself with Mr. Fuentes a lot. So, like, that's another person to me. So when I listen to his music, or my music, that's Mr. Fuentes, I'm thinking of it as a fan. Like, I listen to my stuff, I'm like, oh, that's really cool how he/me came up with that, you know, that stuff.
Talk about yourself in third person.
Basically, you know, that's how I think about it. I'm like, he's a whole nother entity. And sometimes it's even hard for me to, like, remember, like, why or how or what I did. Like, sometimes lyrics just, like, come to me, or the way those lyrics are supposed to be and everything like that. And there's no really, for a better sense of word, rhyme or reason for it. It just happens, you know, just all of a sudden.
I see what you did there.
You just start writing stuff and you're like, oh, this sounds good. Okay, cool. Oh, wow, that sounded good. Okay, yeah. I remember the one that got me the most was I was at the very end of writing this verse and I didn't know how to end it. And I was just like, you know, tiptoe through the last corridor. Okay, yep, I see the door. Okay, haha. What am I stopping for? Like, what am I stopping for? And I started thinking of, like, words like, I was like, luchador. Oh, okay. By miniature luchadors. Okay, now how do I get past the luchadors? I need to make a distraction. I could throw a small rock. Okay. And then jumped into action to break up the action, threw a small rock just to make a distraction. And just like, and also, I remember writing it all and just thinking to myself, like, yeah, that all played out really well. And, like, it all just, like, came to me. It wasn't like, I don't know. Sometimes I think about it. People are like, oh, you know, writing lyrics, like, you have to be really smart and stuff like that. And I'm not doubting my own lyrical ability, but sometimes it just comes out and it's just very natural to me. It's not like I actually had to work sometimes to find these things. It's just like, it just falls in my lap and it's just like, oh, it sounded really good. Cool. Which is why I don't like sometimes taking credit for everything. Cause it's like when it's so easy, sometimes when you write a verse, it's like, that was just too easy, but it sounded really good. So sometimes I write a verse and I'm like, is it even good? Cause I wrote it so fast.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, you know, those are sometimes the best verses is like, it just all comes out and just flows. You know, you don't have to, like, force it or try to, like, you know, sit on it for weeks and weeks on end trying to figure out, okay, what's my next line going to be? Is it going to go well? Is it going to sound good? You know, all that stuff. It just comes out naturally and it makes a great product.
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely love this verse too. You know, not to throw you in the hot seat, is there anything about the verse that you liked or that you had maybe a question about, like how I came up with something like that?
No, so I mean, it's you know, I knew based off of your theatrics, you know, of how you perform and everything that this fits Mr. Fuentes perfectly, and I really enjoyed the miniature luchadors line as well. Not to foreshadow, but you know, it's I had to use it again, so. Yeah, I mean, it's just really, really awesome. It kind of gives me like a mix of like a Dungeons and Dragons type feel, like you're this hero kind of going through this dungeon, and then you have all of a sudden like these like monsters that come out, or they're like guarding the hallway. There used to be a game back in the 90s that they just re-released called Hero Quest. It's a super fun dungeon crawler board game. I've actually just picked it up not too long ago, and I'm like, you know what? I was like, these are miniature luchadors.
Definitely fun. A fun verse, but we'll just wait, guys, because I think the most fun is coming up next.
We're going to fight.
Let's get back into the track.
The heroes come, the heroes come, the heroes come. All of my enemies, everyone facing me, everyone chasing me, thought of replacing me. The heroes come, the heroes come, the heroes come, and now you're all done. I am the hero, yes, I am the one. I am the hero, the one with the gun. I am the hero, the heroes come, the heroes come, the heroes come. All of my enemies, everyone facing me, everyone chasing me, thought of replacing me. The heroes come, the heroes come, the heroes come, and now you're all done.
I am the villain, I am the one, I am Warlock Supreme. Your hero is really dumb. I believe that the plans are getting ready for some fun. But I'll tell you right now, it doesn't involve a gun. What is this? What is that? He's spotting all of my traps. But can your luchadors will stop him right in his tracks? Rats, look at that. He knocked them right up to their backs. I thought they were skilled, turns out they were trash. How rude! Don't you dare come any closer to sealing your doom. I am the wickedest one of us standing in the room. That's true. Take another step and the floor just might go boom. Leaving your girl without a groom. Dog, I presume. Finally, a real boy for what? For this all? Is she even worth it? No. Not close, you'll have a bad tasting girl. Yeah. That's a lose-lose.
Enough.
I am the
Oh, I love that, man. I love it. It's so good.
Yeah, when you sent me back this verse, my mind was like blown. Like I did not expect you to go full into the role of Warlock Supreme, and yeah, it was really crazy. What made you do this like style? Because I've heard a lot of your music. I've seen you perform. You know, you've never used this type of voice or anything in any songs that you've ever done. What made you want to do this whenever you heard about the song?
You know, the more I listened to it, I was like, you know, I have to be a character in this, and I want to stick with that character. And the first thing that came to mind with Warlock Supreme was Dick Dastardly, and I don't know why, you know, but I don't know. I just wanted to do a character, and I spent probably 3 or 4 days just like, I remember the girl I was dating at the time was like, how many of these different voices are you going to use? And I'm sure I annoyed the shit out of her because I was just trying to get into this character and see which worked best. And, you know, really what was kind of easiest to maintain throughout the whole track. Because, I mean, you know, like you said, it's just not my normal style. It kind of is, but kind of not, with the accent and the rolling of the R's and all of that stuff. So
how rude.
So, I mean, it was, I just really wanted to do a solid character for you and, you know, kind of match the theme of the track. And, you know, I just felt like it fit in really, really well.
I did. I was, yeah, when I got it, I was like, holy shit, this guy just went in, man. It was really awesome too, because I remember when you first had sent me the track, because I think you had sent me a re-recording because you wanted to re-record the lyrics. But the very first one, I remember listening to it and be like, dude, this is awesome. And you're like, are you sure?
Are you sure? Are you sure?
You're like, because I got like 5 different voices I can try out if you don't like that one. And I was like, no, this is really awesome. And you're like, oh, okay, good. Like, because I could tell like this really did step you out of your comfort zone, especially with the, I guess, just, you know, just the voice. I mean, it would do it for anyone, I would think. You know, you're not only being a rapper at this point, you're also being like a drama, like theatrical drama person, you know, like, I walk into the holy grail of holiness, and you know that's, you know, you're trying to be that person. Like and I was just like, I try to put myself in your shoes. I was like, if I were to go up to someone and be like, I am the hero. Yes, I am the one. I am the hero, the one with the gun. Like, if I were to do something weird like that, to try to like match the hero voice theme, I probably would have felt weird as well. But no,
I think your hero is awesome. With the it's classic Fuentes, just really solid, really solid.
No, I think I like how everything came out, and dude, you did awesome. Like, I really appreciate your verse on this. It really just came out so well.
I enjoyed doing it for sure. It was a lot of fun.
Was there anything difficult about you writing this verse?
Yes, and that was A, trying to figure out what voice I was going to use, and B, trying to maintain that voice. And as you listen to it more and more, you'll see that I kind of slipped in between a bunch of different accents. It was very, very strange. But just try to maintain really the energy throughout the whole verse, and to get it to where I could like finish lines, because it took a lot. That was probably the most difficult piece about it. I do enjoy writing stories and kind of keeping up with that storyline and things like that. And, I just felt like it was a good chance for me to kind of flex my, the inner nerd inside of me, and, kind of just do some really awesome stuff. So.
No, it definitely was awesome. If it came about, would you be willing to do a sequel?
Oh man, again, we're kind of foreshadowing here, aren't we? A little bit. I think we left it open for one, possibly. I don't know. You'll have to listen a little further.
We'll have to see. Maybe on the next album, be I Am the Hero 2, The Conquest for Warlock Supreme.
The Conquest and I'm still gonna dip out.
Just like every time, it's like he finds a way to escape. Just like every.
Oh yeah, that's the running gag, man. That's running gag.
The Shredder. Dr. Claw. Everyone all the villains always escape at the end. Dude, what's the one on Phineas and Ferb? I always forget his name. But
yeah, that
guy.
That guy.
All right, let's get to the end of this track and get to the third and final fight of the scene of the song. The scene of the song.
Hero, yes, I am the one. I am the hero, the one with the gun. I am the hero has come, the hero has come, the hero has come. All of my enemies, everyone facing me, everyone chasing me, thought of replacing me. The hero has come, the hero has come, the hero has come, and now you're all done. I am the hero, yes, I am the one. I am the hero, the one with the gun. I am the hero has come, the hero has come, the hero has come. All of my enemies, everyone facing me, everyone chasing me, thought of replacing me. The hero has come, the hero has come, the hero has come, and now you're all done. First of all, she's not my slut, but I bet you like it, she made you cluck. Looking like Buffalo Bill in that robe, even if you tuck, wouldn't touch your butt.
Hilarious, but that trash is spit nefarious. My lotion's in her basket, over there looking like Carol Basket.
Hope you fight better than your trash talk. Me fighting you, that's cakewalk. You fighting me, that's lame sauce.
I'm lame sauce, you're lame sauce. Your mother told me over Wingstop. She looking real good in that crop top. You really slobbing me?
Stop. I crushed the floor with my mighty sword.
I dodged the left on my cave the door. Taste this lightning, fucker.
I eat lightning, sucker. I attacked and he attacked.
And I attacked and he attacked.
I'm putting all I got in this one.
My last spell, for sure you'll be done.
No gas in the tank, I'm about to faint.
Tired as hell, we went hard in the paint.
I'm mustering up for one last go. I got something to prove, I got something to show.
I got nothing to prove, nothing to show. Look at the time, I really must go. Good day, my folks.
Oh wait, oh no, you can't escape.
I say good day.
I am the hero, yes, I am the one. I am the hero, the one with the gun.
I said good day.
I said good day. Yeah, that was really fun. I don't think I've ever really done a verse where I got to go back and forth with someone, and then for it to be this type of verse where like we're supposed to be like fighting each other, because I thought the idea for it was the most funniest thing to me, because it was almost like we're battle rapping slash.
Yeah, right.
Like, but slash
in
like,
the middle of this dungeon.
slash battling at the same time. So it was just like hilarious. Like and a lot of the stuff that we say, obviously when me and you were writing this together, I don't know if this was planned, but in my head, it made perfect sense that it would almost be like two kids like talking crap to each other. Like when I say kids, I mean like younger kids. Like this was a TV show, and it was two like people who really couldn't like come up with complex sentences or complex disses because it's for a kid audience because it's a game, you know, and that's how I thought about it in my head. So just the whole, it's lame sauce, you're lame sauce. Like it's like kids like talking crap to each other, and it's just the most funniest thing ever. Like, I loved how all of it came together, and then how we pretty much started describing like the ending of the fight, like we were going back and forth and describing the fight as it was going. All the way up to your dastardly escape. You know, what did you think of everything when you finally heard the final result of like us going back and forth on everything?
Yeah, I mean, it had that same type of feel for me too, where it was like there was some like kind of childish back and forth banter, and then all of a sudden like we threw in some not so childish banter back and forth. Talking about lotions in her basket and you know all kinds of crazy shit. But
she could really slob a mean stop.
Yeah, stop. So, but
this
yeah.
is PG, bro.
I know, right? We're trying to keep it for the kids, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's like that was funny too because my mind frame. I almost took out the first of all, she's not my slut because I wanted to try to make everything sound like I was like this guy that I was such a good person. I didn't even cuss. I didn't even do this. Like if I was talking to you, I wouldn't be using any profanity. Like I'm a real hero, you know? So.
And you know, that's what you get for being around me, man. I'm a bad influence.
But then I thought about my first verse and I was like, well, I did already say this guy was a bitch. So
it's true.
No sitch. I heard he's a bitch. I slept at the car without even a hitch. Like I was like, I could use one. I'll do one. I'll do just the slut. And then, you know, the touch your butt, you know, stuff like that. I remember just like, you know, when I did all this stuff, just trying to be as PG as possible with everything. So you say the word fucker and I say the word sucker, you know, like,
yeah.
But yeah, no,
now all of a sudden this podcast is not PG-13.
Right. But no, I mean, I think everything turned out really well. I really enjoyed, you know, all of it, to be honest. I think Franco really wanted to be on this track because actually this is his favorite song on the entire album. Is this, and
nice.
Mainly because of your verse. He thought that you really did a really good job jumping into it and being the character. And he really enjoyed it. So I was like, I just wanted to let you know that, you know, just from the people that have listened to it in my circle, you know, people are already like talking about this song. Like this is the one that sticks out the most to everyone that's listened to it so far. So, you know, good job. I think without you, it definitely wouldn't have been as good. I can't imagine like anyone else doing this verse. If someone else would have did this verse, they wouldn't have put in half the effort you did. And that's what makes me feel good that, you know, in the end, I got to pick you as the person to feature in this.
Well, I'm very, thank you so much for picking me for this, man. It was a blast. And, you know, ever since I saw you on stage back whenever we were doing those Funny Farm shows, man, I just have always wanted to do a track with you. So now we got to do one for my albums that are coming up. So
yeah, definitely
just something very creative and fun as well. So
yeah, just let me know. I'm down to do. I'm down. I got you, man. Just let me know. And also at some point we need to perform this one live. Maybe
costumes and everything.
Everything. We have to do this. Franco, he's also the pretty much like the production manager-ish person of the thing, and we want to try to get a music video together for this, but we're still trying to figure out how we're gonna not make it so cheesy but also not blow our budget
sure
as well. So we're gonna talk, and hopefully in the future there'll be a music video acting out all these crazy shenanigans that we talked about during this song.
You got to give me like one of those little like twirly mustaches. And
How rude!
how rude!
But let's finish off the track with the last outro. So the beginning intro narrator and the outro narrator is my good friend Vincent. He's done a lot of my past narrations for past albums that I've done, and so he's always just been a good good choice because he has a good, like, deep, rich voice. I always think it sounds really nice, so I always tell him to do all my narrations. So let's give him his shine and get to the end of the song.
I am the hero has come, the hero has come, the hero has come. All of my enemies, everyone facing me, everyone chasing me, thought of replacing me. The hero has come, the hero has come, the hero has come, and now you're all done. I am the hero, yes, I am the one. I am the hero, the one with the gun. I am the hero has come, the hero has come, the hero has come. All of my enemies, everyone facing me, everyone chasing me, thought of replacing me. The hero has come, the hero has come, the hero has come, and now you're all done.
So in the end, Cryptic has escaped, but the Queen has been saved. Will our hero meet up with Cryptic again? Is our hero having an affair with the Queen? Find out on our next episode of... What is this show called? Start.
Oh, I love that ending, man. It's so good. So good. What is this show called again?
You know, it was funny because I didn't think about this at all. The last time I had Vincent do a narration on my last album, he was on quotation marks a show called the Coastal Bend Bachelor Showcase, where he was like the narrator of the show and asking me. It was supposed to like mimic like a dating show. And so like he was the narrator, like asking me all the questions about things, and I was gonna try to play a snippet of it, but I don't know where I put it. At this. Oh wait. I think I do know where I put it. Is it in here? Oh, there, that one. That one. Nope, it's gone forever. Oh wait, is this? Oh wait, I think this is it. Add music. No, don't open that. Pull over here. No, go back.
My self-portrait on the wall behind me.
It's like what's that name of that monkey on freaking Nickelodeon at the very end where they did like the monkey with the third eye?
Yep.
So this is a track. It's called Coastal Bend Bachelor Showcase.
Hello, and welcome to Coastal Bend Bachelor Showcase. Today we have Mr. Saul Fuentes. So, Mr. Fuentes, tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a little unpredictable, sometimes straight despicable, but I'm just being...
But yeah, no,
I do remember that. That CD stays in my truck. So
yeah, no, I haven't heard that album in a while, but every time I do go back and like randomly listen to it, I'm like, man, this is some good shit. Damn. Just because you like bring back these memories of, going to DFW and stuff like that. It was so crazy that like I used to listen to all this shit, and it's one of those like those sayings that people say, like, you'll never make it in your hometown. Like, and it's usually like one of those sayings because like, I think someone broke it down one time and they're like, well, like it makes sense because everyone in your hometown's doing their same, thing. And maybe they had dreams at some point and they all just gave up on them and they're living their regular lives. So now when you try to do something, trying to do something with yourself and something that's like music, living your dream, that you get a lot of haters because they all grew up with you. They wanted to succeed, and now that you're trying to succeed, they're like, well, I didn't succeed, so why would I support him trying to succeed? That was one of those mentalities that I heard why it's so hard to come up in your own city or your own town. It's always when you go out of town or go to different cities and you do your stuff that people are like, wow, you're really good. You're really, really awesome. Like, where have you been?
Well, dude, where did this come from? They hate us because they ain't us, man. That's it.
And I remember getting into that mindset that I was just like, dude, I'm making this music. I think it sounds great, but nobody's like, a few people here and there were giving me, props, but like, it's like almost like my city didn't love me. My city didn't like me. I would do open mics and stuff and people were like, I'll show up, whatever. But then when I started doing shows in DFW, it was like, people were just like amazed by me. And I was just like, oh shit, like maybe I'm not as crappy as I thought I was.
It's and new flavor, man. It's new flavor.
It's the jumping into the pot. And it's really awesome to like, if you're an artist, I always try to give tidbits if I get anything, if any other artists are listening to this. And my tidbit is, if you're in your hometown and stuff like that, I would highly suggest doing songs out of your state, out of your city, especially Texas. I live like at the bottom, and Dallas, Fort Worth is like more towards the top. Do songs in different areas because those people are most likely going to give you more love than the people in the area that you live in. It's not really a fact, but it's just been shown to be the case. I got the most biggest not ego, what's the word I'm looking for? Confidence boost. I got the biggest confidence boost whenever I started doing shows in DFW and meeting people like Cryptic and things like that. Not only that, but to also see like, not to sound vain, but to see where my skill level is compared to other artists who are also trying to do what you're doing out there. It was really crazy to see that, like, when I compared myself to a lot of the artists that I was performing with, I was actually like in my head, and I don't want to sound cocky, but I felt like I was on a higher tier performance wise and music and lyric wise. And there's only a few people, that I would consider like, wow, like, you were one of them that I remember watching, and pretty much everyone that signed to Funny Farm Records at the time when everyone was signing. I remember seeing Champa and just being like, damn, that guy's fucking has more energy than me on stage. That's not possible.
That guy puts on a hell of a show, man. Oh my gosh. Especially that Sick Gang stuff that they do, man. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude.
It's incredible.
They do such good things. And then there's just some that, I never try to diss artists just because everyone has a starting point, and it doesn't matter. You're gonna get better. If you stick with it, you're gonna get better at it. I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. I'm never gonna diss an artist for trying to come out even before they learned how to perform in front of people and how to do that. You have to get the nerves off. You have to see how people will always think, hey, I'm ready to do this shit. And then you get in front of that crowd of people and you're like, oh shit, I'm not ready to do this shit. It just teaches you a lot. Life teaches you how to be better. So never not shy away from an opportunity, but always know that you practice makes perfect. Like Cryptic said, you always have to practice this craft to be the best.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think I got my nerves shaken off fairly earlier than some, just because of being a concert musician in high school. And, you're playing full of, even though it's not just you on stage, you have you and a whole like ensemble of music, right? Of instruments and people. Just, you have the percussion, you have the different instruments and different, sections. And, but still, I mean, you're up there and you're in front of these people, and the spotlight is really on y'all as a whole. And, I think that's where my kind of nerves have gotten shaken off a little bit. However, we played one of the biggest shows we played, I believe, was like, it was the Strange, it was independent grind tour with Strange Music. We actually ended up getting Tech and everybody a venue because they had double booked, and I was just like, yeah, man, we'll find you a venue. And we ended up kind of scrounging together, and we got an awesome venue, the Ridgely Theater. And it was massive. I mean, there was so many people there. And I just remember like being on the side of the stage right before we were about to go on, and like those nerves started creeping back up, and then the lights dimmed and everybody started just going off. And I was like, oh, here we go.
It's time to
now
get
we're done. So got up there and just crushed it, man. It was such a great feeling, and there's a lot of really awesome stuff that comes from just being up there and getting the love from the crowd and everything. It just makes you feel really good. So
I remember you actually that day I saw you on concert. You saved my life that day because I was really hungry and you threw cheeseburgers into the crowd, and I was like, dude, I started like losing for me, I work a job, and I live like 8 hours away from where y'all live in Fort Worth. So that day, I woke up. I don't have money for a hotel. Like I ain't staying the night and shit like that. So I woke up, drove 8 hours to the show, got some food and stuff, but I was just hella tired by the time I got there. And at some point I was just like, damn, like I feel like I was like really drained. And I just remember thinking, man, I need to go get some food. And then out of nowhere, a cheeseburger came flying through the sky.
Your prayers were answered.
And I was like, what is this? And
it's destiny, man.
I picked it up, because it fell on the floor, but it was wrapped. So I picked it up and I'm like, it's a fucking cheeseburger. And then I look up and you're throwing cheeseburgers. And I'm just like, holy shit. Well, cool. And I remember eating it, just being like completely happy and satisfied with life. It was almost one of those like, man, he really answered my prayers.
Cloudy with a chance of cheeseburgers.
Right? No, it was awesome. But I'm trying to think. Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. That was the end of the song. That was I Am the Hero. It's track number 4 on the sneak peek that at this point should already be streaming. So you can check it out. You can check me out on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, and then all my social media. You can find me at Mr. Fuentes 361. But yeah, no, this album at this point, I'm pretty sure if you're already on my social medias, you're going to be seeing a bunch of in your face marketing and me promoting this album a lot. And like I've said before, I think you're going to be the first interview that I have on this Behind the Mask of the artist. I'm trying to get every feature that I had to also do a similar jump on here and talk about their verse and things like that. Obviously, it's probably not going to be possible to get everyone, but I'm going to try my best. But yeah, no, I put it on the album, and eventually when I get the albums, I'm going to be asking you for your address and sending you a copy of it so you can have for yourself. But I put it inside of there, that, and I mean it in there, that this album would not have had the full effect that it could have had, or the full effect it did have, without the features on it. And that definitely included you in your verse. So thank you so much, man.
Hey, I definitely appreciate that and looking forward to that, that album. I'm gonna jump on and start streaming it ASAP.
Hell yeah. But alrighty, well, so this was Cryptic. Like you said, you can check them out on all streaming platforms as well. Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music. I'm sure he said he has social media. That Dude Cryptic, correct?
Yeah, That Dude Cryptic. 2 Ks.
And I believe it's spelled correctly on your screen, right? So if you go,
unless I messed it up. Yep, nope, it's good.
So if you go onto the YouTube and watch this, the YouTube, I sound like an old man.
YouTube, get on the YouTube.
The internets. Anyway,
the
get into YouTube. You can see how to spell it correctly. Check them out. I also did in the beginning of this podcast put a picture of his album and the name of his album for y'all to check it out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you all for joining. Again, if you haven't, follow Imasowa Productions for more videos like this and other content to keep up with Behind the Mask, and stream that album. It's out. Check it out. It's probably one of my, every project should be your favorite project, but this one's one of my favorite projects right now. A lot of great people on it, including Cryptic, and I'm just blessed to have such a massive talent around me and to be able to work with me. I really do enjoy everything that we've been doing. But alrighty, well then I guess that's it. I'll catch y'all later. Until the next one, peace.
Appreciate the opportunity, brother.
Of course.